Quick, who gets paid more within your organizations, males or females? And which ethnicities get paid the most? With Compies, it is really simple to answer these types of questions. Now let me orient you to this page that we're going to be playing with for the next couple of minutes. This first chart over here has the positions broken up into non-exempt positions, exempt positions, and the executive positions. Now what you're looking for is differences between this blue bar and this red bar. Just that simple. Those will help you tell where there are potential inequities in pay. Now, there's not much difference between these bars and for our non-exempt and exempt positions. But in our executive area, we can see that our female executives have an average comp ratio of 121%, whereas our male executives have an average comp ratio of 133%. So let's take a look at that and see what's going on with that. What I've done by isolating that data is that Compies has automatically selected the individuals who are at that executive level. Now, I also have this sorted based on comp ratio. At the executive level, you'll typically see comp ratios between 75% and 125% of the midpoint. The first thing that I'm going to note is that one of these individuals, the CEO, has a really high comp ratio, 161%. Now that is definitely going to be skewing our data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select just the other individuals. Let's see if we take out that CEO and just look at our other executive positions. How does that affect our comp ratios? Well, the females will still have 121% comp ratio, but the male comp ratio comes down to about 125% comp ratio. That may still be something that you want to address within your organization. But it does show us that there are a few problems here. One of them is that the CEO's pay really is high, and we'd want to understand why that is. Let's take a look at this equity in a little bit of a different way. We can also look at equity across job grades. There may be some positions where there are equity issues, and this is one way to isolate that. There are a few ways to isolate that. But again, as I look at these different red and blue bars, I'm going to be looking for any kind of differences in those. Let's take this one for example. This is let's see here, it's the 14th pay grade. In pay grade 14, the females have an average comp ratio of 91%. The males have an average comp ratio of 65%. So that could be concerning. When I isolate that data though, when I select just that information, I'm going to see that there are really just two individuals who have those positions. And so maybe that's not enough data to really be statistically significant, to really mean that there is a trend in that situation. But let's take a look at a different salary grade. In salary grade 16, we're going to see something a little different. We're going to see that the males have a comp ratio of 90%, and the females have a comp ratio of 57%. Now that's a big difference. I would want to look into that, and I would want to understand why that is the case. Doing that type of analysis helps you to protect your organization, and it's a way of doing right by all of the individuals that work at your company. Let's look at one more scenario. Now in this case, we have comp ratios broken down by ethnicity. And again, I'm looking for big differences between these charts that we're looking at, these bars that we're looking at. There's a big difference. So in this case, in pay grade 11, the African American employees have 132% comp ratio. In this case, the Caucasians have a 90% comp ratio. Maybe something you want to look into. More likely than not, you'll probably have a scenario a little bit like this. And so in this case, you can see that the African Americans have a 90% comp ratio. The Asians in this scenario have a 71% comp ratio. So perhaps, again, something that you want to look into. Well, just like that, in about 90 seconds, you're really able to very easily isolate any trouble spots that you may have within your organization around compensation. Or the flip side of that is maybe you're able to really justify and validate that your pay practices are working and that you're having success in that area. You may say, I don't know where to start. I don't really know how to kind of look at this data and make sense of it. That's okay, because that's part of what our Compies consultants do. Access to those consultants is included with your purchase of Compies. And so everything that you've just seen, and it really is just a fraction of what Compies and our consultants can do for you. So give us a call and let's talk about the things that are most important to you around compensation, and let's see how we can help you get those fixed. Thanks for watching, and thanks for using Compies.